Hi everyone, welcome to Blue Heron Hill. I'm Sue. Yes, and those pictures that you just saw are what we got overnight. Over 12 inches. It was a bit of a surprise. But regardless of that, yes, it is time to start gardening. Maybe not outside, but we are doing a lot of gardening prep right now. So everybody talks about the zones that you're in. I'm in zone 6A. All zones are really for is when or what perennials that you can actually plant in your area that are going to last over the winter and be okay with the cold temperatures that you have. What's most important is focusing on your last frost date and your first frost date and the number of days of planting that you have. My last frost date is May 3rd and my first frost date is October 12th. If I went 5 miles south of us, they have a whole new or a whole different span of days. Their last frost date is a little bit earlier than mine. But into the fall, their first frost date is then again earlier than mine. And this is all because of geography, because I sit on a big lake and that water temperature moderates and has a lot to do with when my frost dates hit in my area. So make sure that it's more important to check out your frost dates rather than what zone you're in. So let's talk about some of the things that I do. First of all, I have and I hope you will have one too, is a gardening journal. And this, right to this page, I have a little graphed out area of my garden. And I've been busy deciding what I want to plant in both areas. And a tip would be use pencil because things change all the time. I know when I get out into the garden, I think, oh, it's not gonna work right there. I've been working on that. And in conjunction with that, I have a little columned kind of spreadsheet on when I am doing different gardening activities. It starts out in the beginning of January, and that for me is the time for maintenance. I inventory my seeds, I do my garden planning, I check old seeds, I order new seeds, I gather my equipment, I wash my pots and pans, clean up my area, check my lights, and make sure everything is ready for when I'm going to start seeds. Now, you don't have to start seeds early. If you go to a nursery and buy them, that's fine. Then you may not need this as quite extensively as I do, because this first page only goes to April 20th. I haven't even hit my last frost date on this front of the page, but I have a lot of seeds that I need to start beforehand. So you say, okay, well, I could just throw those seeds into the ground. Yes, you have even cold crops like broccoli and cauliflower and cabbage can be seeded directly into your garden. And even in March, end of March or so, and they would, as long as you assume that your garden soil can be worked properly. But oftentimes, a lot of those varieties don't have enough time during the gardening season to actually be able to produce a harvestable crop. So in this instance, I start mine inside. I am starting my cabbage and broccoli and brassicas about the beginning of March. Now you say, how did you know that? Well, oftentimes the seed packets have the days to maturity. So you can work with it there. Or if you have a chart like this, I got this off the internet. I've used this for many years. This is my old one. I decided to print off a new one this year. And it says, and these are all just guidelines, if you're going to sow seeds indoors and start your seedlings. Broccoli, they recommend February 23rd through March 8th. And then you can transplant those seedlings out into your garden April 5th through April 19th. Perfect thing to put on your chart right here. And again, this is all in pencil. Now, I found over the course of many years, and I put it in here, that I like to start my broccoli about the beginning of March and not the end of February. So I'm dealing with about a week or two different than what this suggests, although it's within that time frame. But this also gives me a good indication of when, there it is, when I can plant them outside. And I'll put that here on my calendar also, so I don't forget. Keeps me organized. So I will put a link. This is garden.org. Has this lovely one. I think you just type in your zip code and they will, there is every plant imaginable here that you may want to grow in your garden. So it's a wonderful resource to use. So, and they also have, let me say too, they also have a fall schedule. So if you're interested in having a fall garden, they will tell you that broccoli, you need to start your seedlings, again, indoors. They have the end of May through the beginning of July. Now, I usually start mine at the beginning of July or maybe even the end of June, and then they go outside sometime in July when they are big enough, and I have harvested all of the brassicas that I planted in the spring. So, great resource. I hope you can take advantage of that. So, we are ready to go, or I am ready to go and start some seedlings indoors. Now, brassicas, they're still a little early for those. Tomatoes are early, peppers are early. A lot of those that I start by seedlings indoors. But there are some, for instance, my sweet potato slips. I have already started my sweet potatoes in water and trying to force them to produce slips because they take a long time, at least in and I would rather have them too big than not big at all. So set yourself up for a successful 2025 gardening season. Get yourself a notebook that you can take out into the garden and jot down notes on how your plants are doing, your different conditions and things like that, because you don't always remember them from year to year. And you'll need this in deciding how you want to set your garden up in successive seasons and everything. And then get yourself some kind of a calendar or chart to help you with all of the pre-gardening stuff, or just so you can keep it all straight. I know I can't keep all this stuff straight in my head, especially with dates to start and dates to transplant and dates and you know, all the things that you need to keep yourself on a regular schedule. And then take this valuable piece of literature and use this as a guide. And that's all it is a guide. And whatever works for you is what you should be using. I have a few plants to go in now to start from seed. They would be leeks and celery. Also, you can start onions this time of year inside. to get them going and have a head start on your gardening season. So thanks for following along with me on this video. In the next video, which is coming up really shortly, I'm going to go downstairs into my seed starting area, and we're going to talk about the basics of seed starting. Watch for the next video, click the notification bell, and that's what I'll be talking about in my very next video. So thanks for following along with me. Subscribe if you haven't already. And until the next time that we can go digging in the dirt, happy gardening. Bye.